Happy Markan Monday to you. It's a chilly morning on my back deck. And I guess we'll actually have to start naming this something different soon since we're almost to the very end of Mark. We're going to be back in Mark 15 today. But before we do, I just wanted to say, if you're a college student, happy last day of classes. I know you're probably excited that this is the last day of the year for you with school, but also probably sad that you're not back on campus finishing classes. And we're certainly sad. We would have loved to have had a party, an end of the year party, a senior party for those who are graduating, and open up the bridge for you to study and just be able to hang out, fellowship with one another. So we sure have missed you. It's been too long since we've seen your faces. If you're here this summer, hopefully there's going to be some way for us to get together soon. If you're not, then we love you and we cannot wait to see you again in August. If you're a young pro, then who knows how long you've been out of work or at home. Maybe you're still going in, but it feels weird. Hopefully things are starting to move a little bit back towards normal, but we miss you as well, and we're thinking about you. In Mark, we're coming to the climax of our story here, of the gospel narrative of Mark. It's in Mark 15, and it's at the crucifixion. Remember, the first half of Mark is all about who is this Jesus, and Peter answers that in Mark 8:29 with, "You are the Christ," this climactic statement. He's the Messiah. But only 2 verses later, we start to hear the whole second half of what Mark is about, and that's, but what is this Messiah actually like? And he's not like the kings that we think of on this earth, at least in his first coming. He is a suffering Messiah. He's a suffering servant that Isaiah talks about in his servant songs. He's the one that's going to lay down his life for his people. Mark opened up this whole narrative in Mark 1:1 with Jesus, the Son of God. He's already proclaimed that this Jesus is the Son of God. And in the baptism and in the transfiguration, we've heard the Father say the same thing, that just Jesus is his Son. Demons have declared that Jesus is the Son of God as well, but no human has actually uttered that Jesus is the Son of God. And it's a centurion at the cross, a Roman, pagan, Gentile centurion at the cross, who actually for the first time at the very end of Mark will finally declare that Jesus is the Son of God. What is it about Jesus? What is it about this death that reveals to the centurion that Jesus really is the Son of God that has been declared by God and by demons and by Mark in this gospel? It's actually his death. Most people who died on the cross died over a 2 to 3 to 4 day period. It was an incredibly painful, agonizing death. They would suffocate. They would have to pull up on the nails in their arms to be able to breathe, and over time they would actually suffocate from the blood in their lungs, drown, so to speak. And so crucified men didn't cry out, and yet this crucified man died on the first day, and he cried out loudly, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And then there was another cry, most likely the cry in John, "It is finished." And the centurion is standing at the foot of the cross. He's experienced the darkness that covered the land in the middle of the day, an earthquake, dead bodies came out of the tomb, the temple veil is torn, but it is this dying man who cries out that somehow reveals to him that he truly is the Son of God. James Edwards says about this passage that it's at the cross that the wedding of the supreme revelation of Jesus as the Son of God and the birthplace of faith come together. That the supreme revelation of Jesus Christ as the Son of God and the birthplace of faith are actually at the cross. And so I wonder, what do you see when you look at the cross? Do you see torture that's there? Do you see a necklace, a cool emblem that can go on your neck or on your wall as a painting? That's perhaps part of it, but what do you really see at the cross? We see Jesus, the Son of God, most fully revealed in his identity, suffering for the sins of his people. We see a king who lays down his life for his people. We see the Son of God who gives his life as a ransom for many. So let us worship him. But not only that, let us see him as an example to lay down our lives for those around us. What a great opportunity COVID has given us to lay down our lives for our roommates, our neighbors, our family members. Maybe you need to lay down your life by praying for your friends right now. Maybe you need to pick up the phone and make a phone call and see how people are doing. Maybe write a letter. Maybe sit on your back deck with someone, 6 feet apart, of course. Sit on the back deck and hang out and fellowship with one or two other people. What a great opportunity to lay down our lives to serve others. Jesus has laid down his life. The Son of God suffered as a ransom for many. What a wonderful Savior. Well, we love you. Please let us know if you're struggling in any way, shape, or form. We don't know everything that's going on. Please reach out to myself or Liz or Nate or Mary Louise or another church staff, and we would love to pray for you and minister you in any way that we can. Until next week, we'll see you soon.